What's up, my fellow devs, and welcome back to the Dev Shop. So today we're going to get into the meat of how we maneuver our scripting inside of Lumberyard. And by that I mean using event buses, or Ebuses for short. And if I was to go based off the definition from what the documentation says, it would say that event buses, or like I said, Ebuses for short, are a general purpose communication system that Lumberyard uses to dispatch notifications and receive requests. Ebuses are configurable and support many different use cases. So if we were to open up our Lua editor and we have our basic script, we are connected to our project configurator, which gives us access to our class reference. You can see we have an option for Ebuses. If we were to pull that drop down, we have a buttload of options to manipulate and to talk to components and receive notifications, as well as dish out requests. So one of the most common ones that you will interact with would be the tick bus. So if we were to access the tick bus so that we can do code manipulation, each frame or each tick, we want to create a variable first. And you guys already know how to do this, whether you're coming from the previous two videos or just my channel in general. So I'm going to assume you guys know this. So I'm going to create a variable called ticking equals tick bus. And in order to connect to a tick bus, or to a bus in general, we're going to use dot connect, and we're going to give it self. Now I'm going to make a note here for you guys that any Ebus that has the name notification in it can be and should be connected to in order to access its events that can be sent out that you can listen out for. Right, so back to our tick bus. So now that we have our variable and we have connected to the tick bus with that variable, and we'll set it in our onActivate, we can access now the OnTick function, which you will see here. If we go to our tick bus here, we have OnTick. Now the tick bus is unique in that it doesn't have the word notification in its name. So if you're unsure, make sure that you drop down the Ebus, and if it has notifications with OnTick or on something, most likely you can't connect to it to get to that function. So now we have function learn OnTick, and we have delta time and script time point as our parameters. And delta time gives us our frames or seconds per frame, so that we can do some math with it and whatnot, and keep track of each tick per frame. And give it in to close it off. Sorry about that. And that is our OnTick. So now we can do things inside of OnTick each frame to, better code our games. The other important thing is in your OnDeactivate, anytime you're connected to a notification bus, you want to make sure that you set it up to be disconnected from when you no longer need it. So when you are, and by you I mean the entity, when the entity is destroyed or disabled or whatever the case, that it disconnects from it inside of the deactivate, so that you're not running the check of being connected to that notification bus aimlessly. So we want to take our variable that we created here for ticking, I'm going to copy that, paste it here, and we want to disconnect. We also want to set it to nil. And that's it. Another thing that we can do is interact with different components on the entity, or even other entities in the world, via our script. So if I was to take our entity and add a, let's say, a point light, right? Now let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Well, not that part, sorry. We want to make it bigger down here. So let's go ahead and I'm actually put it like at 50. Raise it up a little bit. and I'm going to take off the on initially. That means when you hit play, it's not on. So if I go to the script and now go to our Ebuses, and I can see light, which houses every function for every light. So your area lights, your projector lights, your point lights, things like that is going to be housed under here to get things like the ambient, the diffuse multiplier, which is what I set to 50 to make the light brighter. You have your probes and your point lights specific. You also have your area specifics. So let's go ahead and under the activate, I'm going to scroll down and see turn on and off, which is what sets our on and off initially. So I'm going to go to light dot event dot turn on. And since the light is on our entity that we have the script on, we're just going to do self dot entity ID, which we're referring to us. Oh no, I did that, sorry. Let's do that and hit save. Let's close this out. And since it's on now because it's visible, but on initially is off, so like I said, it turns off when we hit play. Now that we have the on activate to turn on, it should have the same look that we have. Hit play, and now it's on. Now if you want to better see that, we can use different types like Booleans and things like that to better illustrate how it turns on and off. So if I was to create a Boolean called self.isOn equals false, or actually rather I should do it in the properties and say is on. Now in the on activate, what I want to do is say if self.properties.isOn equals true, then we want to take our light function, or our light Ebus rather, and put it in there. We're going to do an else, because you know this if else. You can do else or else if, so I'm just going to do else because it's either on or off, so only two options. Light dot event dot turn off. Oh, before I hit save, I see here in our if statement I kind of messed up. I forgot then. So let's hit then, and let's add another equal sign here. And what this does is compare our variable to true instead of setting it to true. Since we're making a check, we want to make a comparison. So my apologies. So it should be if self.properties.isOn is equal to true, then we want to do this. So let's hit save. Let's minimize that. Now we can leave this, we can actually turn this back on. It doesn't matter because now we're going to control it from here. So if it's on is false, it should be off. There we go. And if I turn this on, we're good to go. All right, so that is a very, very simple overview of how to use the Ebuses. You have Ebus for just about everything from animations to inputs to Twitch functionality, accessing audio, different actors, and even attachments. So you can do that through the code of, you know, picking up weapons and things like that, which we're going to get into down the road. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. If you guys really like this video, do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions for the channel, let me know down below, or you can join our Discord and you can talk to me there. Other than that, hope you guys are having a very dope day. Hope you guys are prospering in your projects. And until next time, keep developing.